Hello and welcome to another Let's Play. Me, GamerWolfSix of the Smoke Room. Before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, you can get it free on itch.io. But if you want to support the people that make this game and or get the newest version earlier, then you can go to Patreon, where it's $3 a month for this and other games. So, on the last Let's Play, I can't exactly say much happened. Like, the rat guy whose name eludes me, I'm sorry, I'm bad with names, asked Holly, I think the older sister, where she was at the lake during that day. And that kind of was sus. We don't know exactly. And then we took a look at the rock, which to me looked a lot like Morse code, but the other two were just like, I don't know, it has a spiral on it. Or these guys in general. And then we went back here and talked about Jim and his sister and da-da-da-da-da for a bit. And then went sleepy buys after we wooed one out. And now it's the day of the wedding. I like weddings, but not this one. No. Reset face. And begin. Part of me wish I could hear them again. Just to remind myself how wrong everything feels about this morning. Who's them? Murdock is cleaning and dressing himself. Ralph puts a kettle on the stove, and we hear it whistling. Ooh, tea or coffee. We're all going about the motions in silence, as if it were an ordinary day. Murdock heads to the door, but Ralph stops him before he can squeeze the handle. Going so soon? I want to be at the house early to make sure there aren't any unnecessary setbacks. We ain't even at breakfast. Please don't worry on my behalf. Hey dude, it's gonna be a long day. Have some breaky fast. You should both eat. I'll find something small at the house if I grow peckish. Peckish. He leaves before Ralph can interrupt him. I always thought peckish was an English thing. Is it an American thing too? Ralph puts his glass down and looks at me. What? Bit of a bad notion to suggest he keeps Jim wrapped around his finger, ain't it? Oh, the walls are thin. I sip the glass of water I've been given, slowly. Oh, because he's doing a big think? Might as well cut in with your good ideas, since you can hear everything on the other side of the wall. What else can he do? He should have called the bluff. It ain't no bluff. I've seen the evidence. Ralph rubs his temples. Have we seen the evidence, or have we just heard that somebody burnt the evidence? It must have been a while ago if we actually did see it. Because she wants to convince you that she has the power to make that call. She doesn't. The last thing Holly Bryans wants to do is to look as though she failed her mother. If those pictures get out, she loses what she worked for years. And the blame will come down on her too. She knows that. Still, too much of a risk for anybody to tell her no. Which is kind of the explanation somebody like her will count on. Explanation? I don't know what's worse. How pitifully shallow this little scheme is, or the fact she knew everyone would perform for it. Why try when something works? Because it wouldn't if he could escape them. We both know how he needs to stop depending on this family, or they will use up everything he is and leave nothing left. Not Jim, but Murdock. And here you are telling him to lean into that. Until we can find those photos? I shrug. Yeah. If there ain't no way to stop them using him, might as well learn to use them right back, right? Wrong. Holly's sloppy, but do you think the same could be said for their mother? He needs to establish his boundaries, not stretch his own further. He might be uncomfortable first, but that's part of why they push him so hard. They know he'll allow it. Because he's comfortable in that position. If you think he's doing everything wrong, then why are you still sticking around? Because I've got a profitable setup here, and I still need to save up. That means playing a song and dance on occasion for these delusional people. They don't bother me much when I tell them no. But Murdock is in a position where he can't go without a blow-up. Can't go without a blow-up? Not sure what that means. I say we're all overdue for a blow-up, and I can't even guarantee I'm the one who's gonna do it first. I stand up to intimidate him, but he doesn't flinch. I'll give you a day, but I won't give you forever. Tick-tock, lover boy. I scarf down the fried egg in 3 bites, leave the plate on the counter, and turn my back to him, heading towards the door. When outside, it takes most of my strength not to slam it closed. Fucking gall. Everyone I meet, as of late, seems to think they're an unstoppable force, but it's like they're blind and can't see that they keep bouncing into one another. Murdock has been setting more boundaries. He's been trying. But where's he gonna go if everything goes sideways? Doubt he'd want to spend the rest of his life hiding in my goddamn bedroom. I'm not used to being up so early that it's still dark. Yeah, it looks still dark. I knock on the door and wait. I expect one of Murdock's parents or siblings to greet me, but I'm staring at the face of a stranger. She's a fox, but her fur is gray, and she's wrapped mostly in scarves. Could be the grandma. She tears back and forth as she moves, and squints through her glasses when she looks at my face. Socks told me there might be somebody else coming. Socks? I think that's the nickname Ralph called Murdock once, but it's strange hearing a stranger say it. Yep, Murdock's grandma. You're one of his friends. Yes, I'm old. Yeah. Though, if she made, the parents, then I'm one, well, she might be alright. She turns and starts hobbling away, deeper inside the house. Come on into my living room. There's something about this woman that gives me hard to place feelings. Not bad ones, but not good ones. It's the same kind of feeling you get when you're in church. I can't help but feel like you're walking in on something that's been here before you were born, and will be here long after. Well, depending on which route you take, she might be here long after, instead of you. That's not to say I think this old woman will outlive me. I mean, it depends, my dude. In one route, I guess he actually didn't. The one where he died. But she has this big presence that makes me feel like mine is shrinking in the shadows of her footsteps. I noticed he mentioned that this is your living room. Doesn't this place belong to Gretchen and Alfred? She shakes her head quietly. Not without my money. But you don't live here, do you? No. I only visit for critical family matters. Living here is an act of hubris. A perfect challenge for my daughter. She turns to me and squints. Doesn't she know the soil's bad? She says, like it's obvious. Do you mean the roses? She squints again. Then she shakes her head. No, not the roses. Though roses of all things. In the desert. She points at the logs on the fireplace to kick up an ember. Oh, she pokes. Now there's an eternal conquest. Then she puts another piece of firewood down. But enough about plants. I meant a common kind of sense that isn't so common anymore. Everyone should know that if you want to live in a place with good soil, you need goodwill and good people. Usually to do that, you and your family had to treat the place right for a long time, but sometimes folks get lucky with their neighbors, and there's plenty of harmony to go around already. If a place is convivial, convivial due to the goodwill and the care of people, you can plant roots that spread deep. The attitude of people who live somewhere reflected in the place. She looks around her and shakes her head. You can probably see what I mean. You're a tourist, like me. How'd you figure that? She looks at me up and down again. You don't have the feel of a local. What gives you that idea? Well, your clothes are clean, your hands look soft, and your shirt's buttoned awfully low. You work in an entertainment? Yeah, you could say that. She nods firmly and goes back to poking the coals. I notice that she's heating something over the flames. It doesn't smell like food, because it's a head. I don't know. I used to think this place wasn't so good when I first came here. But it was always less bad than home. Everybody needs a house, but a house is not a home. Homes come after the house. People get that backwards. Do you know what I mean? Yeah? Oh, yeah. No. I'm like, yeah, and then he's like, yeah, and then, no. She seems to pick up on my tone regardless. I'm saying that people can make a house into a home. The same way a town is people. The same way a city is people. These things all come from people. And the kinds of people get reflected in the homes, the town, and the cities. Look at this town. I know my daughter insists it's a city, but it's still a town in my eyes. I can tell that there are attempts to make things right. There's some good people doing good here, but it's not the kind of good that bounces back from catastrophe. You lose your entertainment halls, and you lose your minds, you lose your people. But that's all backwards. There needs to be room for all kinds of resilience, for that kind of resilience. Sorry, I swear I can read. A community will give life to a home when it breaks down. But a community ready to leave the moment that happens makes ruin out of their buildings, no matter how new the plant is, or paint. It kind of sucks because I'm like, I want to read this because I want to continue the story. But then it's also like, I can't read. When the plant spoils? No, plant. I expect her to keep going in a way that older folks tend to, but she stops, takes a hold of her chair, and coughs. Of a chair? It starts to as a bit of a wheeze, but then turns into an all-out hacking cough that wrecks her body, or racks. When she's finished, she wipes a tear from her eyes. Sorry about that. Bad air. This old woman better not die while I'm all by myself with her, or I'm gonna lose my mind. Is there really nobody around the house to help you? I've been taking care of myself for over 70 years, so I don't think I'd let him. Yeah, and that's pretty old in these days, I guess. And I have work to do before the church bells ring for my granddaughter. She gestures at the pot on the hearth. What is that? It's a head! The pure silver for a coin casting. I was kind of wondering, if you had a gold coin or a silver coin and the house caught fire, would those coins melt or would they be okay? I wouldn't give Mr. Sterling my blessing if he wouldn't provide the silver himself. Don't rely on a man who won't pay. She gets it. I think she might be my favorite family member. Even more than Murdock. I see you smiling. you agree with me. It's a pretty certain reassurance. Much better than blackmail. I lose my train of thought. Were you around last night? Lad, you could wake the dead with that argument. Of course my daughter and her husband still managed to sleep through it. I appreciate you standing by Socks, though. He has fewer helpers than heaven these days, by the looks of it all. She looks to the couch and retrieves a little orange envelope from a velvet green bag. Then she hands it to me. Is this? Saw me grandson wily enough when he was barely a few months old. Don't need to see it again when he's a grown man. I exhale. Funny that you're the second person your granddaughter's given photos to, who just got rid of them. She nods forcefully and pokes at the envelope. That one's always had a bad habit of taking the rest of the family for granted. She can put men in line, but she has yet to realize how poorly she contends with the other women. So, why are you telling me this? She makes her bark out laughing. She makes her bark out laughing? That makes her bark out laughing. Because, laddie, please don't take offense when I say this, but outsiders aren't considered a threat. The Rowans have always survived, so long as they support their own. Sorry, I thought I was hearing a heartbeat. But what I see from this side of the family has been, let's say, mixed for now. I have done most of what I can do with this time on this planet, so the rest is up to coming generations. I hear the wood creak upstairs. I can't tell if that's the natural strain in the house or if there's somebody up there. Are you sure no one else is in the house? She looks up. Nobody who should be, at least. Do you think she'd have the negatives of these two in their bedroom? Most likely. It's been hers alone long after the wee kids moved out. It's been hers alone. You're thinking of looking for them, aren't you? Oh, without your permission. Like I said before, you own the house? You learn quickly. She is quick to turn and gives me instructions to the bedroom. I wouldn't stay longer than 10 minutes, unless you mean to be caught. Right. I remember that this used to be the child's bedroom. When I see that it doesn't have a lock. Oh, yeah, that's a weird thing. One of my parents had. Every single bedroom that I've had at my mom's house never had a lock on my, bedroom door, which is weird. An uneasy sense of guilt puts my hair on edge when I turn about being in someone else's bedroom without permission. What's with the ominous fucking music? And it doesn't help that Harley Brown's bedroom looks exactly how I thought it'd look. Everything looks like it has a perfect place. From the bags, the dresses hanging over the stands, the glass cases draped in jewelry, their causes, the vanity overflowing with perfume, to the smartly cut curtains that let just the right amount of light through the room. The bedroom is beyond upkept. It's curated, which means it's my least favorite kind of room to snoop around in. Yeah, because you have to put everything back exactly. If anything is moved without care, she'll notice. This room is, without a doubt, built for comfort. Is it? Built for comfort? Which means that she'd probably want to keep something like the photograph negatives out of mind and out of sight. When I think about places to hide things, I think first about the floorboard in my room at the hip. But if somebody doesn't have something like that, my mind drifts toward hiding things under the bed or stuffing them deep inside the closet. So first I crouch down and look under her bed. There's a box under there, alright? And it doesn't look dusty. I pull it with one hand and get surprised by the weight of it. Once I pull it all the way out, I can see it's a simple crate with shreds of sawdust in it. But inside are smooth, white crystals that are so round they look like eggs. Okay, again, it's one of those things like, but inside are smooth, what? White crystals. They're pretty. And reset face again. And pretty weird. But not what I'm looking for. I push the crate back under the bed. Time for the closet. It's not a very big closet, which I suppose makes sense. It was built for children. But as I opened it, I'm shocked by how much stuff is stuffed in there. She has quite a suit and dress collection, and many pairs of shoes. The top is so stacked with boxes that if I remove one thing, it has the danger of it all tumbling down. I don't know. Let's see, could it be up here in high places, though she might not be tall? Maybe in our Vandy area. Could be. So I have to go through each box one by one and replace it. I do find a box of photos, but they seem perfectly innocent. There's another box. Full of rocks again? Is this what she and Jim have in common? I don't know if I should touch them. Time for the third box. Shit! I see what hit me. It's just a stiff old carpet that got me right between the neck and the shoulder. I step back, feeling the pain spread dully through my body, and it falls to the ground, unrolling partially. I don't know. I wouldn't particularly call a rug falling on you painful. It looks like an old basket that you'd find outside. The rug? Maybe on someone's porch? That's been worn down by the elements. Maybe as cushioning over the hay in the back of a wagon. It's not something you expect to find in a bedroom so much as an attic or storage room. But I stare at it a little longer. What I mistake for a large, rust-colored pattern that covers almost half the entire rug is, in fact, a stain. Oh, is this going to be a murder? I'm pretty certain it's the color of dry blood. My mind starts racing. Why would she have this? What does this mean? Is this from a person or from an animal? I think about that girl in the graveyard. Blythe Washington. The one who took my money. She said the teachers weren't listening when they talked about missing friends. Holly Barnes does not strike me as a murderer. A blackmailer, yes. Underhanded, absolutely. But a killer? That doesn't add up. Nonetheless, she'd have to know this was here, wouldn't she? So, what does that mean? Good morning, Mother Owen. Shit. Who's Alfred? No clue. Maybe one of the guys, but I thought, weren't his friends not coming? You already said that before you left. Shit. I have to roll this carpet up again, quickly. Well, if it ain't, it's still a good morning. Oh, it's the father, I guess. All things willin'. Once it's rolled back up, I try to push it back above the boxes, but it gets stuck on the frame. The roll on one side is too thick. What are you back for? Just my pocket watch. I push the carpet in hard until I hear it give, scraping against the side of the door. I push it up, then in. It fits inside, just as I hear Alfred walking up the stairs. Either I've got to jump out the window, or I have to wait for him to enter a room and sneak by. Once I hear the steps stop creaking and another door open, aside to open Holly's door to the hall. There's nobody there. I walk as quickly and as quietly as I can until I reach the stairs, then descend. The moment I hear my tail turn the hall, the sound of footsteps comes from the stairs follow. Granny Rowan hands me a fire poker as Alfred enters the room. What's the store help doing here? He stopped by earlier to help, and I told him that I could use an assistant. He didn't say he was here. Didn't ask, did you? Well, it's a fine time for him to show up. I need the help carrying carrying to the church. Or help? Yeah. Taking any help, aren't you? Or taking my help, aren't you? Not like I need any, but buy an old woman a slice of coffee cake before you take her manservant, won't you? Alfred looks unamused by the jab. He directs me to the stairs and turns on the light bulb. The barn's basement is filled with boxes and boxes of stuff. Yep, that's mighty fine stuff. Iron castings for pans. They look like they're missing their lids. Various planks of wood. We might just roll it back a bit. 'Cause getting almost caught is a... Because we almost got caught. We have like 3.5 minutes left. So that's not really a ton of time. So I think that's a good time to call it. And have me have a cup of tea. So, then if this, let's place a comment, cause I like comments, don't you like, dislike, tips, like otherwise. If you like me, YouTube, and like Grow, then please like, subscribe, and share the rest of your own. Please remember to spay your animals to help control the pit population. And if you want to play this game, it's available for free on itch.io. But if you want to support the people that make this game and or get this newest version earlier, go to Patreon, $30 a month, for this and other games. And until next time, let's play. Me, GamerWolfSix, of the Smoke Room, a game I'm trying to read, but I kind of, fall off of sometimes. So thanks and see ya.